So the common theme of my most recent videos have been trying to dive into basically why this country got so divided over the last sort of 20, 30 years, why we absorb ourselves so much in politics and division and hate and hating on each other constantly. And I've looked at social media, I've looked at governments, I've looked at Brexit, I've looked at the media we consume. But today I want to talk about the fact that we all seem to be bloody experts, don't we, at the moment? Everyone seems to be an expert on every single topic. Yeah, when was the last time you heard someone say, actually, I don't know. I don't think I have enough knowledge on that topic to give an opinion. Everyone gives their bloody opinion and everyone's a bloody expert. It was only my most recent video where I showed a clip of Joe Rogan and his mates claiming to be experts on UK migration.
Tommy Robinson told me 43%, I don't know if this is true, but I think it's something like 43% of the immigrants that come into the UK and I think in Europe in general are on the dole, but especially in the UK. So they're on the dole. They're literally on welfare.
Yep. Absolute tripe. Obviously, absolute tripe. Now, you get lies and misinformation spread on social media, but also we have the big thing of Google. Everyone's an expert now because we have Google. So, you know, any old Tom, Dick and Harry sitting on their sofa or maybe taking a shit can Google whatever they want, and then suddenly they're an expert on that topic. You know, like 20, 30 years ago, I mean, let's take that question there, for example, migration. You know, 20, 30 years ago, if you wanted to sort of look into the topic of employment levels with migration into the UK, you'd have to put a lot of effort in, wouldn't you? You'd have to go to the library, do some reading, maybe go to some government buildings, speak to some people, look at some studies, look at some research. But now, any Tom, Dick and Harry with a phone while taking a shit can just Google. And the problem is that Google is probably the worst tool for actually getting to the truth, especially when you have a political leaning and a political bias. Because that's the problem with Google. Google is the perfect tool to just find out what your preference is, what your bias is. If you want to go into Google and look for the stats on migration that are negative, you will find them. And if you want to go on Google and look for the stats that are positive, you will find them too. I mean, let's take an example of this question. Let's just Google this question. What are the employment rates of migrants? So straight away, if you put into Google what percentage of migrants work versus don't work, you get some stuff about EU migrants, which is more. And then there's this little bit here about a 2019 study that says that 51% of migrants after claiming and receiving refugee status don't work. What is that study? Do we know what that study is? Are you going to tell me what that study is? And this is what I'm saying. If that's the stats that you're looking for, if you're going into Google because you want to prove that refugees don't work, you will find that and that will satisfy you. And then you'll pump that out to whoever you're having an argument with at that time and whichever social media platform you want to pump that out to, and you'll be satisfied. But then this is what I'm saying about Google. Someone that wants the different opinion, that's not satisfied with that, will look further. And then if you go in and actually fact check that very stat that you got from Google, Google will then contradict itself by saying that actually this stat is misleading. Of course it's misleading. We don't know what that study is. It's so difficult. This is the problem. It's so difficult to find genuine facts. If you scroll further down, you'll see some random Reddit post here saying that 1.6 million migrants don't work. You will find the answers you're looking for on Google, which is exactly why I end up with comments on my video like this. 10 million Indians have come to the country in the last decade. I mean, the population of the UK as a whole has only increased by 4 million. So I'm not sure how you're getting to that stat. Or this one, 1% of Slough is native English and 99% Muslims. Now, I don't know whether I have any viewers from Slough, but I don't need to do too much research to find out that that's absolute rubbish. Now, there's a good chance that these comments are from bots, but the thing is, that's dangerous in itself because people will read those comments and they'll parrot it to whatever social media, and all this misinformation just spreads and spreads and spreads and spreads and spreads. No one's actually getting to the facts. Now, Google can be a very useful tool if you have no bias, if you have no political leanings, if you're just looking for the facts. When was the Battle of Hastings? 1066. Okay, great, fantastic. You know, but if you go in with bias, you're just going to find what your bias is. And again, this is the problem with studies. I mean, I could start up the institute, the Van Man Talks Institute for Research and Study, and I could go out and I could start interviewing people leaving a mosque, and I could ask them the question, do you think more people should convert to Islam in the UK? And of course, they're Muslims, so I guarantee probably 99% of them would say, yes, that would be a good thing. I believe in my faith, I believe in my God, I think everyone should follow it. I can publish my study, my survey, and title it with 99% of Muslims want British citizens to convert to Islam. And then that could be parroted to whoever the hell they want. But I could also do that survey where I could change the question to, do you think British citizens should be forced to convert to Islam? And I guarantee 99% of people would say no, they shouldn't be forced to. This is the thing with studies, man. This is the thing with studies. And you can pick whatever little bit of information you want online from Google. And this is another thing that is fueling the political divide, is the expert status. We all think we're experts in the topic because we can Google this and Google that, but the information is so varied. You will only find what you're looking for. And do you know what I'd love to hear more of? I would just love to hear more of people saying, do you know what? I don't know. I don't have enough knowledge on this topic. I don't think I can really form a proper opinion. You know, if someone says to you, what do you think about illegal immigration? Do you think it's damaging the country? I would love to hear, do you know what? I don't know. It's not personally affecting me, so I'm not really going to have an opinion on it. And that's what I'd love to hear more of. I'm going to finish, it's a shorter video today. I'm going to finish up with this. Next time you hear that question, just go, is it affecting me? Do I have an opinion? You know, this whole country is absolutely obsessed with illegal immigration right now. Is it affecting you personally? Is it affecting your life in any way? Or is there a whole range of topics that we really should be talking about that do really affect you? Do you have children? Are you happy with the level of public school education that they're getting? Are their class sizes too big? Will they eventually have access to further education? Will they have those decent apprenticeships available to them? You know, these are things that you can form an opinion on because you have children and you have knowledge in that subject and it affects you. Are you happy with what you're being paid at work? Do you feel like you have the right amount of power to be able to negotiate higher wages where you work? Do you have that union power to be able to do that? These are the sort of things we should be talking about. These are the sort of things that actually affect our lives. And these are the sort of things that we can form a genuine opinion on because we have knowledge of our workplace, of our children, of our schools. We have real based knowledge on these topics, not a topic that is absolutely consumed. This whole country is consumed on this topic, but very, very little people are actually affected by it. Anyway, folks, please give me your thoughts down below. What do you think of Google? Are you a bit sick and tired of everyone claiming to be an expert on something? That's all it takes, just to sit on the bog, Google, suddenly I'm an expert on migration. It's nuts. And also, if you made it this far into this video, I really appreciate if you give it a like and subscribe if you've not already. It really helps. I really want to push these videos out to as many people as possible. Till next time, take care.